Hey, what's up everybody? So I am making this video to introduce you to my second organ donation awareness t-shirt campaign. I am reintroducing this with a little bit of a different font and a different saying on the back just to conserve some space and to switch things up a little bit for this second campaign. So for those of you who didn't get a chance to get shirts the first time around, now's your chance. And for those of you who got shirts the first time around, you might want to check out these ones. Maybe you'll like them a little bit better. Anyways, so just a little bit of a backstory about me. I first started dialysis when I was 16, and that was because of a medical misdiagnosis. And so if you guys get UTIs, make sure you're getting them taken care of, because that's what ended up causing my kidney failure, was a misdiagnosed UTI. In other words, I wasn't given antibiotics and it backed up into my kidneys, thus shutting them down. So I spent 9 years on dialysis before I received my first amazing gift of life from the list. And this time I was told that it would probably be best if I was to find a living donor. Two reasons for that, actually, and really it's good for anybody to get a living donor if they have that as an option, because those kidneys will last a lot longer based on the studies that they've done. So for me, it's best because I've already had a transplant, which puts me at a higher risk for rejection the second time around. It also makes it very hard for me to match because I have the antibodies from this other person's organ along with my own, and then they're trying to introduce a third person's antibodies, which obviously, as you see, that can get quite complicated. So for me, they've decided that a living donor would be my best option. A list kidney would be a viable second, obviously, because my other option is to stay on dialysis, which is not always an ideal outcome. So I created this campaign to not only share my personal journey and my plea for a living donor, but to also increase awareness around organ donation in general and to really get that conversation going, which was why I thought the funny little play on words gets that conversation going. It gets somebody to come up and actually comment on your shirt, and then it makes it easier for you to say, hey, are you an organ donor? If not, let me give you a little information on how you can be one, how you can be a hero and save lives. So like I said, I just changed up the design a little bit, changed the font on the wording so it would fit a little bit differently on the shirt, and I think I made the taco a little bigger. I'm not sure. But nonetheless, overall, the general idea of the shirt is the same. The saying is the same and all of that. And so the proceeds from the t-shirt sales, after Bonfire takes their fees for processing and making the shirts and all that stuff, which ends up being about $3-4 per shirt, the proceeds from that go towards my medical expenses, because I actually, sorry for getting this extreme close-up here, I have a stack of dialysis bills that have not been paid yet. And I've pretty much just been getting them and not opening them and putting them off to the side because I just simply don't have the money to pay them. And if I were to submit all of them to my Help Hope Live account, I would be dropped well below the $12,548, which is required for me to stay on the list here in Florida. So as you can imagine, I don't want to do that, and I haven't done that, which is why the bills are still sitting here. Hence my outside of Help Hope Live fundraising activities. Those are what actually pays my day-to-day bills, aside from my Social Security income. I am really just looking forward to being able to getting off dialysis. This 11 hours a day on a machine makes it pretty much impossible for me to maintain full-time employment. I have worked for medical facilities who you would think would be understanding with my needs, but unfortunately, I haven't ran into that. I was actually let go from a job because they felt my health was a concern. So, although that's illegal, being in a right to work state, you can get let go for anything, basically. So, it's very hard to maintain full-time employment when you have medical appointments every other day that you're having to take time off for. You have dialysis treatments that you never know which day you're going to feel good and which day you're going to feel like crap. And then just the sheer schedule of the dialysis itself. Sometimes my machine, I kink my lines when I roll over at night or something, so my treatment runs longer than the time that it's supposed to. There's just so many variables that make it difficult for me to work. Thus, I am on Social Security, and that really doesn't do much but pay my day-to-day bills. It pays my rent, it pays my electricity and utilities and phone bill and stuff like that, but there's not really much left over to survive on or to actually pay additional medical expenses. So that is why I depend on the kindness and generosity of people like you that contribute to both my Help Hope Live Fund and attend any of the events that I come to or any of the fundraisers that I hold. That is really where all of my faith lies, is in my supporters. And so without you, I wouldn't even be here right now. So many thanks to those of you who have already supported me and who continue to support me tirelessly and share my posts, and no matter how ridiculous they may be or how ranting they may seem or how often I make them, I really, really do want you to know that you are appreciated, and I love you from the bottom of my heart. And so going forward, my goal in this really is I want this to go viral. I really do want people to be having these conversations with their family and register to be organ donors, because this is not just about me. This is not just about my needs. This is about the 120,000 plus other people who are also waiting on a list to live, waiting for a gift of life. And every single person that signs their donor card or registers at their DMV or sees this post even and shares it with their friends, and their friends are encouraged to register, any of those people, all of those people are all making a difference. And all together, we can change how people are getting transplanted. We can make such a difference in people's lives. And I need you for that. I need you. I need my warriors to be out there on the streets wearing these shirts, getting the conversations going, getting people talking about organ donation, because it's such a subject that nobody wants to touch on because it involves death a lot of the times. But we need people to understand that it's not just about death, it's about giving life. It is about your life continuing through another person. It is about you giving a person the ability to see their kids grow up or walk their daughters down the aisle or experience grandchildren or travel the world. You know, all these things that so many people take for granted in their daily life. And even for us that need kidneys, somebody to just have to stop and use a rest area for once. I mean, things like that, like silly little things, are things that we all take for granted, but we don't think about. Somebody is not able to do that. There's another person who can't breathe out there that needs one of my lungs. There's somebody out there that is too tired to go to their kid's graduation or they're tied to a dialysis schedule in a machine so they can't attend their best friend's wedding. These are all things that we can prevent, and we can prevent it through awareness. We can prevent it through the gifts of kindness of others, through our living donors, through these people, these generous angels, these selfless people who come forward out of the kindness of their hearts and give from themselves life. There's nothing more beautiful than that, and you can take part of it. And you know how you can take part in it? By sharing these posts, by sharing these videos, by sharing this campaign, by wearing these shirts. Just a simple act of putting a shirt on, you could change a life. What's greater than that? I ask you, what is greater than that? So I'm going to leave you with that thought, and I hope that something I've said had resonated with you in some sort of a way, that you will share this, and that you will really consider, if you're not already, becoming an organ donor, because it's great to save 8. Peace, everybody.